Love and kindness are never wasted. They always make a difference. They bless the ones who receive them, and they bless you, the giver. This quote is, of course, by Barbara DeAngelo. Such an odd way to start a presentation, of course, right? Receive a quote. But this quote reminds me of my father. My father had always taught me whenever I was growing up, love and kindness, you should always give it. Show it to everyone. Because no matter what, they may be going through a hard time. And not only are you blessing them, you're blessing yourself. You're doing something for the community and for others. As we grow up, and as time goes on, we of course forget things. Most of the times, we forget the small things that people do for us. Whether it be that somebody buys you a meal whenever you have no cash on you, or they take you out somewhere, maybe to the library, to the bank, whenever you don't have the transportation to get there. We always end up, after a couple of years, forgetting these things. But that doesn't mean that nobody didn't do it. My father did everything he could to do these. Yes, they were small, and of course he did bigger things. But any way he could, he'd always try to help out. First of all, to shed light on how he did some of the things he did, I would like to show you how or why he did. Give you a backstory or a background. So whenever my father was young, he had moved all across America. He went from Maryland to New York and somehow, unfortunately, ended up in Kentucky. My father, of course, his family was poor. After his father had died, my father had to step up and not only take care of his mother, who had no job and could not get a job, he had to take care of his younger siblings, his brothers and sisters. And he had even dropped out of high school because, of course, education around here during the 80s and 90s was not the best. And he had to go get jobs, hard labor at like coal mines, because that was popular, metal places, moving lumber, anything he could to help provide for his family. My dad in his 30s, 40s, ended up giving his life to the Lord, ended up becoming a Christian. And whenever he did, he took his first big step into being involved in the community. He would go on church missions to help out other people, whether it would be building a house, transporting elderly people across town, whatever he could do to help with the church and the communities. On January 20th of 2017, unfortunately, my father had passed away. During his funeral, over 130 people had attended, not including my family, of course. This was friends, people in the community who had known him, showed up to show their remorse. So after telling some background, let's get into what my father did for the community. Of course, my father did building projects like I had mentioned for the church, and he didn't just do it for the church. He would do it outside of his free time whenever he was balancing jobs, things like that. He'd also, of course, helped with other things on the side with building. Anything, maybe, for instance, sheds, other small building projects, things that were affected from natural disasters, floods, hail, other things like that he would do. My father also used to take one of our neighbors out all the time to go help them with groceries. He would take her to the store every once at the beginning of the month and be like, this is all I have for you. Let's go get you a couple snacks. Let's go get you some water, things that will help you survive for the incoming month. Because, of course, this neighbor had nobody. She was an elderly woman. And, of course, my father would do small, simple tasks that ranged from mowing people's lawn that couldn't do it to lifting up objects that, of course, they couldn't do. Anything that he could do to help be involved. And the last thing I want to talk about is how much my father loved everyone. And I think this quote sums it up the best. This quote is an odd quote. It's from 50 Cent. He's a musical artist, and this is from his song 21 Questions. I love you like a fat kid loves cake. This is so strange, but my father used to always tell me this all the time. And he would tell other people this too. My father was always his shoulder that people could lean on. He was always there for others when they would talk to him. And this ranged from everyone. Whether it was a 17-year-old alcoholic who had recently just gotten into a fight with his mother, to a 5-year-old who ended up stubbing their toe while walking down the sidewalk and tripped and lost their lollipop, to also a 40-year-old mother who had just lost her children and lost her job and who was having a midlife crisis. My father had done everything he could to be involved and help him and be a leaning shoulder. While my father was not no political figure who made policies in the government to help end homelessness or to solve the food hunger crisis in America, he still made an impact on this world. He helped out in the community to the best of his abilities because, of course, he was only one man. While my father may not be here, he will always remain my number one hero. Thank you.